In Washington, the Senate is expected to convene this morning to debate President Trump's big, beautiful bill. It comes as North Carolina Democrats urge Senator Thom Tillis to vote against the bill. Demonstrators outside Senator Tillis's Charlotte office yesterday protesting. Among many measures, the bill includes cuts to Medicaid and SNAP. It also extends tax cuts, which Democrats say would benefit the wealthy. On our live Impact News stream on WCNC Plus, anchor Vanessa Rufus spoke with both parties.
This is the billionaire's favorite package, and the cost of that is falling on the backs of everyday North Carolinians. This bill proposes to cut Medicaid, in which 3 million North Carolinians depend on. That's almost a quarter of our state. And even if you aren't on Medicaid, you're impacted by Medicaid cuts, because if people do not have health insurance and people cannot go to the doctor and cannot make those payments are passed on to everybody else.
What's happening is not necessarily cuts to Medicaid. It's restoring the program to what it needs to be, which is for people. It's not for able-bodied people to have the program without work requirements. I think what you're seeing implemented with this bill are common sense measures that preserve it and especially help the working families of our country.
You can find that entire discussion and even more coverage over on WCNC Plus. Today's Senate debate comes as President Trump presses forward with other controversial economic policies.
Now the White House says the president will meet with China's president this week. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington this morning.
Tariff talks back in the spotlight this morning, with reigniting tensions between the U.S. and China, threatening to derail trade negotiations, each side accusing the other of violating terms that led them to temporarily scale back steep tariffs. Administration officials have said President Trump and China's leader have to directly engage to get back on track.
I can confirm that the two leaders will likely talk this week.
That as higher steel and aluminum tariffs that President doubled to 50% are set to take effect tomorrow,
which will even further secure the steel industry in the United States.
The European Union says it's preparing countermeasures. Small businesses watching the shifting picture warily.
American businesses are paying these tariffs. I just know that we have 9 people, and if we don't get some relief soon of these tariffs, we're going to have 3 people.
It all comes as the Senate this week takes up President Trump's massive budget bill,
with the goal of getting the final bill to the president before the 4th of July.
It already passed through the House, but several Republican senators have voiced concerns over the projected increase to the deficit from extending major tax cuts and increasing defense and immigration spending, arguing there aren't enough spending cuts.
I would be very surprised if the bill at least is not modified in a good direction.
Even as protesters rallied against what the bill does slash to Medicaid and food assistance programs. With that July 4th deadline in mind to fully pass the big budget bill, House Speaker Mike Johnson is urging Senate Republicans to make as few changes as possible, because any adjustments will then need to be kicked back over to the House for approval. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.